Beatify. To make supremely happy. Beatitude. Any state of great happiness. Beau. An escort or lover. Become. To make quiet. Beck. To give a signal to by nod or gesture. Bedaub. To smear over as with something oily or sticky. Bedeck. To cover with ornament. Bedlam. Madhouse. Befog. To confuse. Befriend. To be a friend to, especially when in need. Beget. To produce by sexual generation. Begrudge. To envy one of the possession of. Belate. To delay past the proper hour. Belay. To make fast as a rope by winding round a cleat. Belie. To misrepresent. Believe. To accept as true on the testimony or authority of others. Belittle. To disparage. Belle. A woman who is a center of attraction because of her beauty, accomplishments, etc. Bellicose. Warlike. Belligerent. Manifesting a warlike spirit. Bemoan. To lament. Benediction. A solemn invocation of the divine blessing. Benefactor. A doer of kindly and charitable acts. Benefice. A church office endowed with funds or property for the maintenance of divine service. Beneficent. Characterized by charity and kindness. Beneficial. Helpful. Beneficiary. One who is lawfully entitled to the profits and proceeds of an estate or property. Benefit. Healthful result. Benevolence. Any act of kindness or well-doing. Benevolent. Loving others and actively desirous of their well-being. Benign. Good and kind of heart. Benignant. Benevolent in feeling, character, or aspect. Benignity. Kindness of feeling, disposition, or manner. Benison. Blessing. Bequeath. To give by will. Bereave. To make desolate with loneliness and grief. Berth. A bunk or bed in a vessel, sleeping car, etc. Beseech. To implore. Beset. To attack on all sides. Besmear. To smear over, as with any oily or sticky substance. Bestial. Animal. Bestrew. To sprinkle or cover with things strewn. Bestride. To get or sit upon astride as a horse. Bethink. To remind oneself. Betide. To happen to or befall. Betimes. In good season or time. Betroth. To engage to marry. Betrothal. Engagement to marry. Bevel. Any inclination of two surfaces other than 90 degrees. Bewilder. To confuse the perceptions or judgment of. Bibliography. The passion for collecting books. Bibliomania. A list of the words of an author or the literature bearing on a particular subject. Bibliophile. One who loves books. Bibulous. Fond of drinking. Bide. To await. Biennial. A plant that produces leaves and roots the first year and flowers and fruit the second. Bier. A horizontal framework with two handles at each end for carrying a corpse to the grave. Bigamist. One who has two spouses at the same time. Bigamy. The crime of marrying any other person while having a legal spouse living. Bight. A slightly receding bay between headlands formed by a long curve of a coastline. Bilateral. Two-sided. Bilingual. Speaking two languages. Biograph. A bibliographical sketch or notice. Biography. A written account of one's life, actions, and character. Biology. The science of life or living organisms. Biped. An animal having 2 feet. Birthright. A privilege or possession into which one is born. Bitterness. Acridity as to the taste. Blasé. Sated with pleasure. Blaspheme. To indulge in profane oaths. Blatant. Noisily or offensively loud or clamorous. Blaze. A vivid glowing flame. Blazon. To make widely or generally known. Bleak. Desolate. Blemish. A mark that mars beauty. Blithe. Joyous. Blithesome. Cheerful. Blockade. The shutting up of a town, a frontier, or a line of coast by hostile forces. Boatswain. A subordinate officer of a vessel who has general charge of the rigging, anchors, etc. Bodice. A woman's ornamental corset-shaped laced waist. Bodily. Corporeal. Boisterous. Unchecked merriment or animal spirits. Bole. The trunk or body of a tree. Bolero. A Spanish dance illustrative of the passion of love accompanied by castanets and singing. Boll. A round pod or seed capsule as of flax or cotton. Bolster. To support as something wrong. Bomb. A hollow projectile containing an explosive material. Bombard. To assail with any missile or with abusive speech. Bombardier. A person who has charge of mortars, bombs, and shells. Bombast. Inflated or extravagant language, especially on unimportant subjects. Boorish. Rude. Bore. To weary by tediousness or dullness. Borough. Unincorporated village or town. Bosom. The breast or the upper front of the thorax of a human being, especially of a woman. Botanical. Connected with the study or cultivation of plants. Botanize. To study plant life. Botany. The science that treats of plants. Bountiful. Showing abundance. Bowdlerize. To expurgate in editing by omitting words or passages. Bowler. In cricket, the player who delivers the ball. Boycott. To place the products or merchandise of under a ban. Bray. Hillside. Braggart. A vain boaster. Brandish. To wave, shake, or flourish triumphantly or defiantly as a sword or spear. Bravado. An aggressive display of boldness. Bravo. Well done. Bray. A loud harsh sound as the cry of an ass or the blast of a horn. Braze. To make of or ornament with brass. Brazier. An open pan or basin for holding live coals. Breach. The violation of official duty, lawful right, or legal obligation. Breaker. One who trains horses, dogs, etc. Breach. The buttocks. Brethren. members of a brotherhood, guild, profession, association, or the like. Brevity. Shortness of duration. Bric-a-brac. Objects of curiosity or for decoration. Bridle. The head harness of a horse consisting of a headstall, a bit, and the reins. Brigade. A body of troops consisting of 2 or more regiments. Brigadier. General officer who commands a brigade ranking between a colonel and a major general. Brigand. One who lives by robbery and plunder. Brimstone. Sulfur. Brine. Water saturated with salt. Bristle. One of the coarse, stiff hairs of swine used in brush making, etc. Britannia. The United Kingdom of Great Britain. Briticism. A word, idiom, or phrase characteristic of Great Britain or the British. Brittle. Fragile. Brooch. To mention for the first time. Broadcast. Disseminated far and wide. Broken. A coarse, heavy shoe. Brogue. Any dialectic pronunciation of English, especially that of the Irish people. Brokerage. The business of making sales and purchases for a commission, a broker. Bromine. A dark reddish-brown, non-metallic liquid element with a suffocating odor. Bronchitis. Inflammation of the bronchial tubes. Bronchus. Either of the 2 subdivisions of the trachea conveying air into the lungs. Brooch. An article of jewelry fastened by a hinged pin and hook on the underside. Brotherhood. Spiritual or social fellowship or solidarity. Browbeat. To overwhelm or attempt to do so by stern, haughty, or rude address or manner. Brusque. Somewhat rough or rude in manner or speech. Buffoon. A clown. Buffoonery. Low drollery, coarse jokes, etc. Bulbous. Of or pertaining to or like a bulb. Bullock. An ox. Bulrush. Any one of various tall rush-like plants growing in damp ground or water. Bulwark. Anything that gives security or defense. Bumper. A cup or glass filled to the brim, especially one to be drunk as a toast or health. Bumptious. Full of offensive and aggressive self-conceit. Bungle. To execute clumsily. Buoyancy. Power or tendency to float on or in a liquid or gas. Buoyant. having the power or tendency to float or keep afloat. Bureau. A chest of drawers for clothing, etc. Bureaucracy. Government by departments of men transacting particular branches of public business. Burgess. In colonial times, a member of the lower house of the legislature of Maryland or Virginia. Burgher. An inhabitant, citizen or freeman of a borough or corporate town. Burnish. To make brilliant or shining. Bursar. A treasurer. Bustle. To hurry. Butt. To strike with or as with the head or horns. Butte. A conspicuous hill, low mountain or natural turret generally isolated. Buttress. Any support or prop. By law. A rule or law adopted by an association, a corporation or the like. Cabal. A number of persons secretly united for effecting by intrigue some private purpose. Kabbalism. Superstitious devotion to one's religion. Cabinet. The body of men constituting the official advisors of the executive head of a nation. Cacophony. A disagreeable, harsh, or discordant sound or combination of sounds or tones. Cadaverous. Resembling a corpse. Cadence. Rhythmical or measured flow or movement as in poetry or the time and pace of marching troops. Cadenza. An embellishment or flourish prepared or improvised for a solo voice or instrument. Caitiff. Cowardly. Cajole. To impose on or dupe by flattering speech. Cajolery. Delusive speech. Calculable. That may be estimated by reckoning. Calculus. A concretion formed in various parts of the body resembling a pebble in hardness. Callosity. The state of being hard and insensible. Callow. Without experience of the world. Calorie. Amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water 1 degree centigrade. Calumny. Slander. Calvary. The place where Christ was crucified. Calvinism. The system of doctrine taught by John Calvin. Calvinize. To teach or imbue with the doctrines of Calvinism. Cane. A leaden sash bar or grooved strip for fastening panes in stained glass windows. Cameo. Any small engraved or carved work in relief. Campaign. A complete series of connected military operations. Canaanite. a member of one of the 3 tribes that dwelt in the land of Canaan or western Palestine. Canary, of a bright but delicate yellow. Candid, straightforward. Candor, the quality of frankness or outspokenness. Canine, characteristic of a dog. Canon, any rule or law. Canned, to talk in a sing-song, preaching tone with affected solemnity. Cantata, a choral composition. Canto, one of the divisions of an extended poem. Cantonment, the part of the town or district in which the troops are quartered. Capacious, roomy. Capillary, a minute vessel having walls composed of a single layer of cells. Capitulate, to surrender or stipulate terms. Caprice, a whim. Caption, a heading as of a chapter, section, document, etc. Captious, hypercritical. Captivate, to fascinate as by excellence, eloquence, or beauty. Carcass, the dead body of an animal. Cardiac, pertaining to the heart. Cardinal, of prime or special importance. Caret, a sign placed below a line indicating where omitted words, etc. should be inserted. Caricature, a picture or description in which natural characteristics are exaggerated or distorted. Carnage, massacre. Carnal, sensual. Carnivorous, eating or living on flesh. Carouse, to drink deeply and in boisterous or jovial manner. Carrion, dead and putrefying flesh. Cartilage, an elastic animal tissue of firm consistence. Cartridge, a charge for a firearm or for blasting. Caste, the division of society on artificial grounds. Castigate, to punish. Casual, accidental, by chance. Casualty, a fatal or serious accident or disaster. Cat o' nine tails, any overwhelming flood of water. Cataclysm, opacity of the lens of the eye resulting in complete or partial blindness. Cataract, any great and sudden misfortune or calamity. Catastrophe, the negative pole or electrode of a galvanic battery. Cathode, the system, doctrine, and practice of the Roman Catholic Church. Catholicism. Universal prevalence or acceptance. Catholicity. An instrument consisting of 9 pieces of cord formerly used for flogging in the Army and Navy. Caucus. A private meeting of members of a political party to select candidates. Causal. Indicating or expressing a cause. Caustic. Sarcastic and severe. Cauterize. To burn or sear as with a heated iron. Cede. To pass title to. Censor. An official examiner of manuscripts empowered to prohibit their publication. Censorious. Judging severely or harshly. Census. An official numbering of the people of a country or district. Centenary. Pertaining to 100 years or a period of 100 years. Centiliter. 1/100 of a liter. Centimeter. A length of 1/100 of a meter. Centurion. A captain of a company of 100 infantry in the ancient Roman army. Cereal. Pertaining to edible grain or farinaceous seeds. Ceremonial. Characterized by outward form or ceremony. Ceremonious. Observant of ritual. Cessation. Discontinuance as of action or motion. Cession. Surrender as of possessions or rights. Chagrin. Keen vexation, annoyance, or mortification as at one's failures or errors. Chameleon. Changeable in appearance. Chancery. A court of equity as distinguished from a common law court. Chaos. Any condition of which the elements or parts are in utter disorder and confusion. Characteristic. A distinctive feature. Characterize. To describe by distinctive marks or peculiarities. Charlatan. A quack. Chasm. A yawning hollow as in the earth's surface. Chasten. To purify by affliction. Chastise. To subject to punitive measures. Chastity. Sexual or moral purity. Chateau. A castle or manor house. Chattel. Any article of personal property. Check. To hold back. Chiffon. A very thin gauze used for trimmings, evening dress, etc. Chivalry. The knightly system of feudal times with its code, usages and practices. Cholera. An acute epidemic disease. Choleric. Easily provoked to anger. Choral. Pertaining to, intended for, or performed by a chorus or choir. Christ. A title of Jesus. Christen. To name in baptism. Christendom. That part of the world where Christianity is generally professed. Chromatic. Belonging, relating to, or abounding in color. Chronology. The science that treats of computation of time or of investigation and arrangement of events. Chronometer. A portable timekeeper of the highest attainable precision. Cipher. To calculate arithmetically. Circulate. To disseminate. Circumference. The boundary line of a circle. Circumlocution. Indirect or roundabout expression. Circumnavigate. To sail quite around. Circumscribe. To confine within bounds. Circumspect. Showing watchfulness, caution, or careful consideration. Citadel. Any strong fortress. Site. To refer to specifically. Claimant. One who makes a claim or demand as of right. Clairvoyance. Intuitive sagacity or perception. Clamorous. Urgent in complaint or demand. Clan. A tribe. Clandestine. Surreptitious. Clangor. Clanking or a ringing as of arms, chains, or bells. Clamor. Clarify. To render intelligible. Clarion. A small shrill trumpet or bugle. Classify. To arrange in a class or classes on the basis of observed resemblances and differences. Clearance. A certificate from the proper authorities that a vessel has complied with the law and may sail. Clemency. Mercy. Clement. Compassionate. Close-hauled. Having the sail set for sailing as close to the wind as possible. Clothier. One who makes or sells cloth or clothing. Clumsy. Awkward of movement. Coagulant. To change into a clot or a jelly as by heat, by chemical action, or by a ferment. Coagulate. Producing coagulation. Coalescence. The act or process of coming together so as to form one body, combination, or product. Coalition. combination in a body or mass. Coddle. To treat as a baby or an invalid. Codicil. A supplement adding to, revoking, or explaining in the body of a will. Coerce. To force. Coercion. Forcible constraint or restraint, moral or physical. Coercive. Serving or tending to force. Cogent. Appealing strongly to the reason or conscience. Cognate. Akin. Cognizant. Taking notice. Cohere. To stick together. Cohesion. Consistency. Cohesive. Having the property of consistency. Coincide. To correspond. Coincidence. A circumstance so occurring with another, often implying accident. Coincident. Taking place at the same time. Collaborate. To labor or cooperate with another or others, especially in literary or scientific pursuits. Collapse. To cause to shrink, fall in, or fail. Collapsible. That may or can collapse. Colleague. An associate in professional employment. Collective. Consisting of a number of persons or objects considered as gathered into a mass or sum. Collector. One who makes a collection, as of objects of art, books, or the like. Collegian. A college student. Collide. To meet and strike violently. Collier. One who works in a coal mine. Collision. Violent contact. Colloquial. Pertaining or peculiar to common speech as distinguished from literary. Colloquialism. Form of speech used only or chiefly in conversation. Colloquy. Conversation. Collusion. A secret agreement for a wrongful purpose. Colossus. Any strikingly great person or object. Comely. Handsome. Comestible. Fit to be eaten. Comical. Funny. Commemorate. To serve as a remembrance of. Commentary. A series of illustrative or explanatory notes on any important work. Commingle. To blend. Commissariat. The department of an army charged with the provision of its food and water and daily needs. Commission. To empower. Commitment. The act or process of entrusting or consigning for safekeeping. Committal. The act, fact, or result of committing or the state of being. Commodity. Something that is bought and sold. Commotion. A disturbance or violent agitation. Commute. To put something, especially something less severe, in place of. Comparable. Fit to be compared. Comparative. Relative. Comparison. Examination of two or more objects with reference to their likeness or unlikeness. Compensate. To remunerate. Competence. Adequate qualification or capacity. Competent. Qualified. Competitive. Characterized by rivalry. Competitor. A rival. Complacence. Satisfaction with one's acts or surroundings. Complacent. Pleased or satisfied with oneself. Complacence. Politeness. Complacent. Agreeable. Complement. To make complete. Complex. Complicated. Compliant. Yielding. Complicate. To make complex, difficult, or hard to deal with. Complication. An intermingling or combination of things or parts, especially in a perplexing manner. Complicity. Participation or partnership as in wrongdoing or with a wrongdoer. Compliment. To address or gratify with expressions of delicate praise. Component. A constituent element or part. Comport. To conduct or behave. Composure. Calmness. Comprehensible. Intelligible. Comprehension. Ability to know. Comprehensive. Large in scope or content. Compress. To press together or into smaller space. Compressible. Capable of being pressed into smaller compass. Compression. Constraint as by force or authority. Comprise. To consist of. Compulsion. Coercion. Compulsory. Forced. Compunction. Remorseful feeling. Compute. To ascertain by mathematical calculation. Concede. To surrender. Conceit. Self-flattering opinion. Conceive. To form an idea, mental image or thought of. Concerto. A musical composition. Concession. Anything granted or yielded or admitted in response to a demand, petition, or claim. Conciliate. To obtain the friendship of. Conciliatory. Tending to reconcile. Conclusive. Sufficient to convince or decide. Concord. Harmony. Concordance. Harmony. Concur. To agree. Concurrence. Agreement. Concurrent. Occurring or acting together. Concussion. A violent shock to some organ by a fall or a sudden blow. Condensation. The act or process of making dense or denser. Condense. To abridge. Condescend. To come down voluntarily to equal terms with inferiors. Condolence. Expression of sympathy with a person in pain, sorrow, or misfortune. Conduce. To bring about. Conducive. Contributing to an end. Conductible. Capable of being conducted or transmitted. Conduit. A means for conducting something, particularly a tube, pipe, or passageway for a fluid. Confectionery. The candy collectively that a confectioner makes or sells as candy. Confederacy. A number of states or persons in compact or league with each other as for mutual aid. Confederate. One who is united with others in a league, compact, or agreement. Confer. To bestow. Conferee. A person with whom another confers. Confessor. A spiritual advisor. Confidant. One to whom secrets are entrusted. Confide. To reveal in trust or confidence. Confidence. The state or feeling of trust in or reliance upon another. Confident. Assured. Confinement. Restriction within limits or boundaries. Confiscate. To appropriate as forfeited to the public use or treasury. Conflagration. A great fire, as of many buildings, a forest, or the like. Confluence. The place where streams meet. Confluent. A stream that unites with another. Conformable. The act or state or conforming. Conformance. Harmonious. Confirmation. General structure, form, or outline. Conformity. Correspondence in form, manner, or use. Confront. To encounter as difficulties or obstacles. Congeal. To coagulate. Congenial. Having kindred character or tastes. Congest. To collect into a mass. Congregate. To bring together into a crowd. Coniferous. Cone-bearing trees. Conjecture. A guess. Conjoin. To unite. Conjugal. Pertaining to marriage, marital rights, or married persons. Conjugate. Join together in pairs. Conjugation. The state or condition of being joined together. Conjunction. The state of being joined together or the things so joined. Connive. To be in collusion. Connoisseur. A critical judge of art, especially one with thorough knowledge and sound judgment of art. Connote. To mean, signify. Connubial. Pertaining to marriage or matrimony. Conquer. To overcome by force. Consanguineous. Descended from the same parent or ancestor. Conscience. The faculty in man by which he distinguishes between right and wrong in character and conduct. Conscientious. Governed by moral standard. Conscious. Aware that one lives, feels, and thinks. Conscript. To force into military service. Consecrate. To set apart as sacred. Consecutive. Following in uninterrupted succession. Consensus. A collective unanimous opinion of a number of persons. Conservatism. Tendency to adhere to the existing order of things. Conservative. Adhering to the existing order of things. Conservatory. An institution for instruction and training in music and declamation. Consign. To entrust. Consignee. A person to whom goods or other property has been entrusted. Consigner. One who entrusts. Consistency. A state of permanence. Console. To comfort. Consolidate. to combine into one body or system. Consonance. The state or quality of being in accord with. Consonant. Being in agreement or harmony with. Consort. A companion or associate. Conspicuous. Clearly visible. Conspirator. One who agrees with others to cooperate in accomplishing some unlawful purpose. Conspire. To plot. Constable. An officer whose duty is to maintain the peace. Constellation. An arbitrary assemblage or group of stars. Consternation. Panic. Constituency. The inhabitants or voters in a district represented in a legislative body. Constituent. One who has the right to vote at an election. Constrict. To bind. Consul. An officer appointed to reside in a foreign city, chiefly to represent his country. Consulate. The place in which a consul transacts official business. Consummate. To bring to completion. Consumption. Gradual destruction, as by burning, eating, etc., or by using up, wearing out, etc. Consumptive. Designed for gradual destruction. Contagion. The communication of disease from person to person. Contagious. Transmitting disease. Contaminate. To pollute. Contemplate. To consider thoughtfully. Contemporaneous. Living, occurring, or existing at the same time. Contemporary. Living or existing at the same time. Contemptible. Worthy of scorn or disdain. Contemptuous. Disdainful. Contender. One who exerts oneself in opposition or rivalry. Contiguity. Proximity. Contiguous. Touching or joining at the edge or boundary. Continence. Self-restraint with respect to desires, appetites, and passion. Contingency. Possibility of happening. Contingent. Not predictable. Continuance. Permanence. Continuation. Prolongation. Continuity. Uninterrupted connection in space, time, operation, or development. Continuous. Connected, extended, or prolonged without separation or interruption of sequence. Contort. To twist into a misshapen form. Contraband. Trade forbidden by law or treaty. Contradiction. The assertion of the opposite of that which has been said. Contradictory. Inconsistent with itself. Contraposition. A placing opposite. Contravene. To prevent or obstruct the operation of. Contribution. The act of giving for a common purpose. Contributor. One who gives or furnishes in common with others for a common purpose. Contrite. Broken in spirit because of a sense of sin. Contrivance. The act planning, devising, inventing, or adapting something to or for a special purpose. Contrive. To manage or carry through by some device or scheme. Control. To exercise a directing, restraining, or governing influence over. Controller. One who or that which regulates or directs. Contumacious. Rebellious. Contumacy. Contemptuous disregard of the requirements of rightful authority. Contuse. To bruise by a blow either with or without the breaking of the skin. Contusion. A bruise. Convalesce. To recover after a sickness. Convalescence. The state of progressive restoration to health and strength after the cessation of disease. Convalescent. Recovering health after sickness. Convene. To summon or cause to assemble. Convenience. Fitness as of time or place. Converge. To cause to incline and approach nearer together. Convergent. Tending to one point.